my friend and colleague Tim in the chat. And I'm also going to turn on my video. Perfect. So that you know that I am here with you. Don't worry. We'll actually be doing a lot of video, basically like in the back half of this class. So welcome everyone. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. If you've never used FlipGrid before, it used to be a platform that was not part of Microsoft, and then it got bought by Microsoft as well, and then that got rolled into the different educational offerings that Microsoft has. But FlipGrid is an amazing tool. I truly love it, and I really think that it can make classrooms a lot more engaging, especially in times like these when there's hybrid models of learning, virtual classrooms, and all that good jazz. But before we get started, I will say that I am a trainer, part of the Microsoft Toronto team. Now, Square One would be in the Toronto hub, so I'm part of that training team. So I'm very excited for everyone to be here. We're going to talk about FlipGrid today, and the reason why we have a lot of educational discussions is really part of Microsoft's mission. Like Microsoft's whole mission is to empower everyone on the planet to achieve more. That's it. Everyone, every single person and organization, right? But a corollary to that is the educational mission of it is to also have every student on the planet to achieve more. And part of that is having free resources like FlipGrid that you would spearhead and then you would have your students engage in. All right, so all of that is here. So I'll actually just kind of go through a few things and then it'll be fun. Okay, perfect. Now, the first thing that we do want to do, right? First things first, right, is to actually get to FlipGrid. FlipGrid is not an application, it's actually a website. It's actually a website. So go to your favorite browser, whether it's Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Firefox as well should be supported, should be perfectly fine. Safari, if you're using a MacBook, you can just search up FlipGrid. So I'm just going to search up FlipGrid. And in our search results, the first thing that pops up is flipgrid.com. It is super simple, right? Oh, thank you so much, Wendy. Amazing. Wendy is also here to answer questions in the chat as well. Please remember that you do have a meeting chat, so make sure that you take a look at your Teams meeting right now. At the top right, if you're using the desktop version, there should be a chat button, and then it's a speech bubble, and then at the bottom middle would be a chat button as well if you're using the browser version. So that pops up your chat, and then you can type questions through while we're doing this one. But really, all you have to go is to flipgrid.com. I even mistakenly spelled it, and that's okay. So flipgrid.com, and it takes you to a landing page that really looks like this. And I'll just open up a private browser for this one. So we'll ask you to sign up, right? You can sign up with a Microsoft account or a Google account. It's all good, right? It's all good. I have a Microsoft demo account open with one of our educational credentials. But really, as long as you sign up, it takes you to a sign up page that when you click in, it just asks you, hey, what do you want to, what account do you want to use? Just sign up with either of these. Then you should be good to go. You can sign in if you already have a FlipGrid account. Now, I do want to ask the chat just in case, and you don't have to answer, it's all good. But has anyone used FlipGrid before or has seen FlipGrid before? Because I really want to know how our base knowledge is. Yes, perfect. All right, awesome. Perfect. So I'll show you a quick video for this one. Thank you so much, Wendy. I'll show you a quick video on what it means to kind of have this, and we can try it out as well. But this is just a quick video that is on the FlipGrid account on YouTube. Give me a second. Perfect. I forgot to share my audio. Amazing. That's perfectly okay, Tammy. Do not be embarrassed about things. If you don't know something, that's okay. That's why we're here. That's why we're learning. That's what's important. So when you sign in, right? When you sign in, it actually takes you to a page that looks like this that has nothing on it. I actually just added the space lessons group earlier just so it's not barren on our example, but there's really nothing, right? There's really nothing. And in a nutshell, and for those who have used Flipgrid before, you'll kind of agree with the statement. It's a super simple application, and what it does is you basically pose something. You pose a discussion, right? A discussion prompt or a question for your learners. And what they have to do is instead of sending in, here's my assignment, right? Or here's a Word document with this essay that I did, it actually prompts them to make a video. It has them make a video, and then from there they can actually talk about their answer. So it's as if you're having a discussion with the student or with the learner, right, regardless of age, one-on-one, right? And they actually have a voice. And the cool part about it is these different videos, there's filters and stuff like that that actually engage your community, and it's actually really, really amazing. So let's start, right? Especially for those who have not seen this before. We're going to try it out later as well. And you'll see your videos here up on the screen if you're comfortable. If you're comfortable. Don't worry, I'll tell Tim to also upload an answer for later so we have an example. Tim, I have just put you on the spot. That's for later. Now, um, when we get in Flipgrid, right, you have to have a group first. That's the first thing, because you need to have a place where you're going to post those kinds of prompts, those kinds of discussions, those kinds of questions that you're going to ask everybody. So that's why here it will say we have one group and we have one topic. Earlier, it should have said 0 groups and 0 topics if you've just signed up now. Right, if you just signed up now. And inside of that group, right, you'll be able to, inside of this page, there is the upper right where you can add a new group. And we can just try testing it out, right? Just test it out and follow along with me. We can click this plus group option, and then we'll see that we can scroll down a bit. I do have it zoomed in so you can see it a bit better, but you just have to name your group. And I named my group Space Lessons. I didn't even put in an email or a domain, a username, or a Google Classroom. I just created a group immediately. Now for you, if you wanted to add members now at this point in time, you can use these 3 options. If they already have Flipgrid, then you can find them using their username. If they have Google Classroom, then you can find them through your Google Classroom. And if not, you can just find them using their email. And they'll get an email saying that, hey, there's this invite to Flipgrid for you from this person to join this specific group. And when you're done, right, we can click one of these emails. And as you can see, it's just add emails or a whole domain if you wanted to. But let's not do the whole domain because it just adds everybody in. But what we could put through is, let's say, just example at even something at example at Microsoft.com, right? If I was trying to get all of Microsoft, one of my Microsoft colleagues into Flipgrid, right? So example at Microsoft.com, and you can just keep adding people if you'd like, or you can upload a CSV file, which is an Excel file with a bunch of emails in there as well, and that just formats it through. And then you can click create group. Now, once you do, it actually makes it immediately, and you'll see your new group pop up as your first option. When you click into the group that you just made, so again, I made Space Lessons and my demo account name is Kara C, so Kara Coleman. And when we click through, we see that one, there's already a topic that's in here. And we see, hello, I am blank, and you have 0 responses, right? Because again, Flipgrid in a nutshell is you putting a prompt up and your learners adding a video to keep that discussion going, right? Or to have an answer to that discussion post that you put in. Now, we'll also see beside this topic, we'll also see that there is a tab for members. And right now we only have 1 member, and that's perfectly fine, right? That's perfectly fine. Because once you add more members, then everyone pops up here. Now, before we keep jumping into groups, right? Let's look at some example prompts that people do. Let's take a look on the upper right of the screen where you can find the discovery button. Now, if you have used FlipGrid before, especially over the summer, right? Like before the summer, they did change what FlipGrid's format looks like a bit. So they did move a few things around. So maybe you're looking at it and going like, Miguel, where are the buttons for it? It might look a bit different because they did do an overhaul like this past summer. So it might look a bit different for you. Now, your discovery is really just you taking a look at what other people are doing and saying, oh, there's this discussion, right? I want to see what they do and I kind of want to see what happens. So let's, for example, right? Topic of the day is, can animals tell the future? Perfect. Let's just click into this and we see immediately that one, there is a video, right? There's a video embedded into this discussion post. There's, what subject is it in? Who's the community? Like, what community is it for? Who made it, right? And then what is the text inside of our actual discussion? And from here, you can actually just add the topic directly into your own group if you wanted to, and say, you know what, this would be really, really good for my students. I want to know what they think, right, about this specific topic. So you can then just add this topic, you can save it for later, or you can actually create a new group that has this as its first topic, or we can just click add to your groups. And then immediately from here, because we have an account and that account has several groups in it, or in our case, one group, we can select this group and then we can select space lessons and we can click save to group. And when we do, once it has been saved, it will tell us that, hey, do you want to go back to your topics so you can take a look at this new thing that you've added, right? And then immediately our work has been done for us. We didn't have to make a new topic, right? This is, if this topic is relevant to our class at that moment, then it would be good to we're basically crowdsourcing some ideas and having that conversation going, because sometimes the hardest thing is to engage your learners sometimes with different, varied questions, and so that it doesn't feel rote and it doesn't feel like it's always just kind of stuck in one area. The discovery feature is very, very useful for FlipGrid users. Okay. Now, another thing inside of your discovery is there is also your topics. Now, these topics do change out over time, especially depending on the kinds of topics that you're putting in, the kind of topics that you were saving. All of that gives it an algorithm that just kind of says, okay, what kind of topics are good for me? Now, I did set Kara Coleman's account as a middle school teacher, just put it in the middle of elementary school. And that's why the community here are all a bunch of middle school topics. That's what it gives me. If you put in high school, if you put in grade school, even if you put in university, let's say, just to see what kind just pops up, then that is what pops open for you as well. Now, I can go back, right? I can go back and just take a look at my library as well. When you save a topic, this is where it pops up. This is also where you submit a topic to the rest of FlipGrid. In the same way that we found that specific topic about if animals could talk, that was submitted to the rest of FlipGrid so that people like us can just take a look at it and go, oh yes, I would like to add this topic to my portfolio. I want to use this as well. And don't worry about things like, oh, Miguel, am I, am I going to get in trouble, right? Like for this one, am I going to get in trouble for kind of just using this one? Not necessarily, because as long as you got it from, your discovery, it should be fine to use, like no problem, right? That's what it's there for. And we didn't have to put in the attachment, right? We didn't have to put in the video. All of that is immediately here. Now, let's go back to the first, just kind of the main page. We also find beside our discovery some shorts. And our shorts is really that we can immediately make a video through FlipGrid in here as well. And that's what FlipGrid calls it. It's FlipGrid Shorts. And if I wanted to add something here, it might not use it because I'm using my camera for this one. Perfect. Apologies. You might see my room behind me. but this is kind of what the FlipGrid video editor looks like. So hopefully it pops through properly. So we'll just do a plus short. You might see me with my clothes in the background, but unless it just doesn't load for us, and that's okay. But this is the if you try it out on your end, it should pop open your your camera, and that should actually take you to its video editor. We'll take a look at that later again, and you'll be able to try it once I ask you to submit some videos. But this would be the three main parts of FlipGrid. Super easy to remember, right? Super easy to just kind of go through and take a look. Now, let's actually go back into our groups and let's take a look at how we can add a topic in of our own. So we have the Can Animals Tell the Future as an example. If we take a look at the Hello, I Am topic, this was pre-made for us when we made the group. If you actually make a group right now, this is also there as well. And if we take a look at it, it already asks us that, hey, in your video, share how do you pronounce your name and what is something we should know about you. So it's like a show and tell for yourself, which is very good once school is coming up. Right? You can just put it there, and you'll be able to see that you can add your first response to provide an example and remind the rest of the group to say, hey, don't forget to add this response. So it's not lonely. It's not zero. And then you can tell your learners, all right, we have one response. That's from me. I want you to put in your own responses as well. Now, if you wanted to see what your members will kind of find when they actually go into this topic, you can click the member view. And from here, we'll see that one, this group has no members, but also they will see, notice that they don't have a prompt. Super simple. They don't have a prompt to say that, hey, add a first video so people can see it. They just see everyone's responses immediately here at the bottom. And now we have 0 responses, but don't worry. We'll fill up a topic with some responses later. But this is where you'll be able to find your responses. Along with this, it also actually gives you the number of views of people all up, right? Of all of your different videos here. You'll also see the different comments that are here, right? If someone comments on a video, then perfect, it's here. And then you'll also see how many hours of engagement is actually in here. And if you click this, it gives you a response of this is the engagement that's here, right? The number of hours that your video has, but also everything else when it comes to the engagement of your group. And all of that is here. We'll also take a look at the join code later. But I'm going to just exit out of this one, and then we'll make a topic together, right? I'm going to just go back. Now, I'm going to click the plus topic on the upper right. And what we're going to take a look at would be these 2 tabs up here on the top, details and settings. First, we'll take a look at details. These are the different details that your topic will have. This is also where you'll put in restrictions. This is also where you'll say that, hey, I want this specific thing. I want you to check out this attachment that's here, right? All of that would be here. But for now, we're going to add a title for our topic, and to keep it light, what we're going to do is just a quick icebreaker. What's your favorite dessert? All right. Now, super simple. That is our title, right? That is our topic. It's just to get the ball rolling. And we're going to put in a question to start the discussion. Now, it's up to you what you want to kind of put in as a description. It doesn't have to be a question. You can just put in the description, no problem. But if you're having a hard time, you're like, what do I write here? Then just ask a question. And what we're going to ask is, what's your favorite dessert? Could be ice cream. You can even put in some example answers. Could be ice cream, brownies, cookies, what have you. Let us know in your video. Right? Super simple description. You have up until 1,000 characters to put it through. Now, you can also format it and say, I want to bolden this whole word. Just want to bolden this whole word. Apologies. You can also put in links inside of this file right here. So you can put in a link. Let's say people want to see what ice cream is. You can just link something into this one. I'm just going to put in Microsoft.com. Oh, it immediately just made my topic. No, that's okay. We're gonna edit the topic. All right. Coming back to this one, it just immediately added our link. Now, along with this, right, you can also set the recording time. It's just a quick question. What's your favorite dessert? So maybe you don't want it to be a minute and 30, or you don't want it to be 10 minutes. You just want it to be a quick 30-second thing, right? Not completely 15 seconds, because what if they're very excited about their dessert and they want to say more about it? But it cuts off the video at 30 seconds. So this does give them time to speak, but also doesn't let them, let them go through for too long, because you'll be looking at a lot of different responses. Now, you can also put in different pieces of media if you want. This is how they added that YouTube video, right? You can just add a YouTube or Vimeo, and you can even add an attachment that, if you say, right, you can paste a link to the file or a web page, this pops up as just a clickable link at the bottom of your topic, right? So I'm just going to go back into Microsoft.com, example attachment. So this is good. You do have to upload your attachment, right? To to something, right? To maybe your OneDrive, maybe your SharePoint, right? And then you grab the link there and then you put it in here. And then we can save the topic here. But because I accidentally just posted the topic immediately, it does say update, but for you, it should say save, or they might have changed it to publish. There you go. All right. So what's your favorite dessert? Could be ice cream. I did not spell brownies correctly, but that's okay. Cookies, what have you. Let us know in your video. And right now, again, same thing as earlier, we just add a first response. Now, how do we actually send this over to people? On the upper right of the screen, you will find, right? You will find a share button. And you can click your share button, right? We can share anyway, that's fine. And what I can do is, one, I can share it to a Google Classroom if I want to. I can embed this if I wanted to a website that we have maybe for the class, or even share it to Microsoft Teams if you had it logged in. And it can just loop in if you'd like to. You can also get a QR code for it, but the most simple is really this specific URL. Now, let's say you might think, well, Miguel, this seems to be not a private link. What if I wanted to make sure that it was private? So we can exit out of this for now. And before we share it, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 3 dots on the upper right, and we're going to edit this again. This takes us to our second tab on the right side, which is your settings button. And what your settings button will be is really all of it, everything that pertains to who can send a response, how long is your response for, are there captions to it, right? Can people put comments in? Can they put video and text comments, but we can put in just text comments, or even no comments at all? And we can even moderate it. What does it mean to moderate these videos and these comments? Moderating the videos and the comments really is just all about taking a look, having a comment be submitted to a video, let's say, and you have the option to say, okay, I will publish that comment and I will say that this is safe to read. And you can just delete comments that you don't want other people to see. So you would be the filter for it. So you can moderate it if you'd like. You can also find that the topic status can be changed from active to view only, so that people cannot send responses in, or just hide it altogether. So even those people who are in your group, they don't even see this topic at all. Right? But for now, we'll keep it as active and we'll go down. Along with this, in our responses, we can tell people, all right, perfect. You can put in attachments if you'd like. Do you want to allow likes on videos? By default, it's actually turned off. The reason for this is because if let's say you have students submit their videos in and they don't get a like, or they get like 1 like compared to someone's 25, it does provide a feeling. It's very close to how social media portrays likes as well, where it's a currency. So you can still turn it on if you'd like, but by default, it is turned off. You can also remove the view count. You can also choose not to display it. So it is just super simple. Like, here's a video, no likes on it, right? Just view it if you'd like, and all of that will be here. Another thing is if you wanted to turn on some stickies inside of your camera. And this is hopefully I'm able to kind of show you this when I record a response. But this is where you can add different things. And it's not just a video of someone talking about their favorite thing, but they can also add text. They can also add sticky notes. They can also add GIFs and expressions if they so choose. So it's a bit different. And it's more engaging. Now, the last thing is, if you wanted, right? If you wanted to make sure that your how do you say this? If you had a group, but you wanted to let parents see this topic. Let's say this is a private topic and it's really all for just your group. Then you can say that I just want guests to have a password. I can have parents sign in. When they choose to look at this and say that, oh, perfect, then I can put in the password for those who would like to see it that we have deemed to be safe as well. Right? Now, what we're going to do is perfect. I'm going to update this topic, right? Did not let me. Oh, I turned on guest password. We're just not gonna turn that on for now. All right. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to add a first response. How would you respond to this? How you respond to this? What I'm going to do is add the first response here. Hopefully this pops through. If not, I might have to change browsers. Apologies, everyone. I do have Chrome here on the side, just in case something like this happened. The reason for this is because my Edge is not, my browser itself is not understanding that I have a camera. That's the only thing. So apologies for that. I'm just going to grab our email for Kara right here and move over to a different. All right. If it didn't let us through, that's okay. Apologies, everyone. We're just going to log in super quickly. Perfect. So our Chrome should be fine. So we're using just a different, we're just using a different item altogether. Hopefully this should go through. It's still not going through. Not completely sure why, unfortunately, but hopefully, oh, perfect. Allow it. So you should see me. Apologies, everyone. This is just my room. I cannot change the background, and that's my bed. But here is where we'll be able to see that, one, there are a lot of different things that we can use. We have effects. We have different options, right? And I can actually just start the recording from here as well. And I can say that we can click this. Excuse me. Ice cream is the best dessert ever made. Because it is cold. It can be eaten in the winter, indoors, or in the summer, outdoors as well. I can even add effects if I so choose to. And I can say, this is perfect. Hopefully I'm able to kind of do this. This is an ice cream cone. Perfect. Yep. This is what I think an ice cream cone looks like. Amazing. And we're still going. We still have 3 seconds left. And when we click next, excuse me, ice cream is the best dessert, we can edit it as well. And notice that there is a timeline that pops up. Super simple to just go through. You can even add music. Ice cream if you want to, right? You can even add music if you want to. And you can just trim this down if you feel that, oh, I actually don't need, I don't need all of that to kind of pop up. And we can confirm this. Excuse me. Ice cream is, and then click next. All right. So you can even select a frame if you so choose to. and say that this is the frame that should pop up. Perfect. Because this really, really talks about my ice cream obsession. And we can say that we can just submit this through. So once that video is uploaded, perfect. Your video is now visible. We can click done. And now we have Kara C here with 0 views as well, right? Now, let's say, again, I wanted to share it through. We can share this anyway. And what I want you to do on your end is to just try it out. Just I'm going to copy this and we're going to put this in the chat. Try it out and see, right? And try to submit some sort of video in. If you don't want to submit a video, that's okay. What I'm going to ask is, Tim, can you submit a video in just super quickly for this one, if you can? Now, again, I'm not forcing anyone to, right? Oh, apologies. Our access control has not been set for the group. I did forget this one. You still won't be able to access it just because for me, right? For me, the group itself is private, right? So I can edit this group. So we have our details here, right? And at the top of the screen inside of our group, apologies for this one, we do have our settings coming through. Now, so you can say that, okay, my group members can do this, right? And I can even set in some notification frequencies and say that every time something gets uploaded, then all of that is here as well. So we can click update for that one. All right. Hopefully it does go through. It's not even letting me add members. All right. Do this one. No. All right. Because it's not letting me add members coming through. Perfect. Okay. Now, if you do want to add members, again, what I'm trying to find is the public one for this one. Give me a second. For some reason, they did change it a bit. All right. Perfect. So again, we can add people in, but if you should be able to go into the topic itself, favorite response, and then we should be able to just change out. For some reason, they did change the privacy of this one because there should have been a lot more. Give me a second. So we'll put through a guest password for now. They might have changed out the privacy of this one over the summer because what I'm going to put in is puppies. Apologies, everyone. So I'm just going to put in our guest password as puppies. I'm going to update the topic. Hopefully it does come through. Oh, puppies 8. Perfect. Puppies 8. All right. Update the topic. And then I should be able to share this out to other people as well. All right. Sure. Anyway, perfect. So hopefully this does pop up instead. So we've put it in the meeting chat. Let me know if that does come through. Because I do want to say, okay, perfect. So then you can join in with your guest password. And from here, all right, from here, once you put in your guest password, which is puppies 8, then you can add a response. So just try out the, for this part, I just wanted you to try out the camera on your end as well. Try it out. I do want to add some responses here as well. And then Tim, let me know when you add a response through, just something super quick, all right, just to say hello so that other people won't, again, if you don't want to be part of it, that's perfectly fine as well. But while we're waiting, right, while we're waiting, I should be able to refresh this. And over time, once more videos come in, videos come in, then it will all pop up underneath here as well, right? Now, let me know if you are just trying it out. it is up to you. While we're doing that one, all right, while we're doing that one, we should be able to kind of just look through and see. While we're doing this, if you ever find that you have a lot of different responses, if I go into my response from earlier and I just jump in,
Excuse me.
at the bottom of this response, we will see one, that there are some closed captions that we can put in, right? So we can add captions if we so choose, or we can wait and then captions will actually be added later on by FlipGrid itself and then get added on into the video. You can also find in your details, there is a public text comment, and you can even record a video comment because we just had that turned on. So I can put in that this is a comment to this video. And we can set it so that it's public, or we can set it to private as well. And if it's private, then it's only really for the person who uploaded the video that's here, and for the educator who's part of the who's the lead of this section of this group, right? We can send it through. And now we can see that there is a comment to this video, no problem, and that just pops through. All right. And then from here, because we didn't really add a like button, there is no like button, but we can still see the views as well. We can go back. Perfect. Thanks, Tim. All right. Tim was able to put in a response for this one, and we can actually see one, that this is active. Right? All the group members can see this video. I can also hide it if I choose to. So now no one in the group can see this video at all. Only the educators can. Right? Only the educators can. And when I play this, when I click in,
For me, my favorite dessert is this is actually hard. Either between cookies or cake.
there you go. Super simple, right? And from here, I can then just add in a public text comment and say, amazing work, Tim, and then just send it through. Okay, just send it through. Now, perfect. Yes, the password is puppies8. I just saw the chat. Perfect. Thank you so much, Tim. Will your voice come through on my video? It might. It might. It might. We've had it happen as well. I will stop speaking for about 30 seconds so you can all record your videos if you'd like, if you want to see and try it out. All right, perfect. So 30 seconds, right? Let's take a look and see. Yay, perfect. So we have one as well, right? And we can just kind of just go through and we see that there are comments as well.
My favorite dessert has to be cheesecake.
See, there you go. Cheesecake always, always, for me, I always forget. The cheesecake could also be a dessert. I always forget. I'm always just about ice cream. But now that we have 3 videos, thank you so much, Lori. Thank you so much. We now have 3 videos, and we'll see that Tim is here on the right side. So we can actually just go through all of the different videos through this timeline, right? All of that can just be played one after the other. So we don't have to go through. I know cheesecake is actually, someone also said Nanaimo bars the last time I did this as well. And I always forget about Nanaimo bars just because I live on the East Coast, right? On the East Coast. I was like, I swear that's a West Coast thing. But this is where, you know, a lot of, amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Now I do have to show all of these videos because it is here as well. But you can see that it is a lot more engaging to just, instead of, you're giving your learners the power to actually have a response. And all you're really doing is asking people like, hey, what's your favorite dessert? And because a lot of learners now are really engaged in video and social media, right? They are more savvy than me, for example, when it comes to video editing and adding more things to it. It adds a lot. You as an educator, the biggest piece of this is really knowing what will prompt your students to have that kind of interactivity and have that kind of um, passion to say something and say, I also want to be part of this discussion, right? So we'll go through first.
My favorite dessert is cake, preferably 2-layer with lots of frosting on both layers.
It's true. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nicole. All right, we have Wendy.
Cheesecake.
Perfect. See, oh, actually, this is a very good example. As you can see with Wendy's, one, I'm pretty sure that this text of cheesecake is not there in real life, right? And this block of cheese at the top, these were different effects and just kind of filters and stickers that were just added in after the fact, which does give it more of a, if your students don't want to just be in front of a camera and say that this is my answer to this, they can add more things to their video itself, right? You can just have that as well. Now, perfect. All right. Now, with that said, right, I can then come back. Should be able to go back here. Now, we're going to say, okay, that's perfectly fine. All right. All right. Hopefully, we're able to kind of just take a look at this one. Just because, give me a second, everyone. They did move the, all right, they did move the permissions for this one. All right, perfect. So, apologies, everyone. Before it used to be that you can just make everything like public if you so choose to, so you don't have to go through the guest password. But an August update changed it, which is just this month, that you do have to now, when you make a topic, you do have to make that guest password, right? You do have to make that guest password. It used to be that you could do it topic by topic, but now in the group itself, and then you go through the topic, right? When you share it out, right? We don't have a group, so we're going to, I sent it to you publicly. Right? If you want to do that, then you do have to edit the topic and make sure that you have in your settings this guest password as well. Right? It used to be that it could just be applied to the whole thing, and that's what really threw me off. But they did change it this month to just the guest password. I was just double checking that one to make sure that I wasn't missing the option. It used to be just inside of the group settings, but they did remove that. So now if you wanted to add, parents, let's say, then you do have to make the guest password for each one. Can you send a topic to multiple groups at the same time? Perfect question, Nicole, because then I can segue into our next one, which is when we're looking at this, at this topic, let's say you have different classes. So let's say this is the space lessons class, and you made this amazing topic, but you think that actually all 5 of my classes could use this. All 5 of my classes could use this. What you can do is I'm going to just make another group super quick. Going to edit this theme into this one, and then second group, just put that through as just a as just an example. So now if we look at our groups, we have 2, right? When you make a topic, right, you can put it inside of one group, and our add topic is inside of the group itself. So the topic that we're going to make is always going to be in space lessons. Right, it's always going to be in space lessons. However, on the right side, you can click these 3 dots, and then you can duplicate the topic. And then you can select the group where you want it to go to. So you have your second group that's here. And then we can duplicate it. All right, we can duplicate it. And then from here, we can click View Topics again. And now we have 5 topics across 2 groups. If you look at all of your topics, right? So this was the first one, which was our groups. We have our 5 topics here. We see what the source, what the group source is and where these topics are. So we see the hello, I am. It's still here inside of the space lessons one, but because we made a new group and I told you that the hello, I am is actually a default topic that always gets added whenever you make a new group, it's also here as well. So now we have our second group, and now we have our what's your favorite dessert topic in here too. And if we click in, we'll see that we have 0 responses because the responses that were made all go into the space lessons group. Now, the next question is, well, Miguel, I made, right? In the same way that we made this first one, just to give as an example, we can click these 3 dots, right? And we can duplicate the response as well. And we can then move it over into the second group, right? If we want to, or individual topics. And just find the topic that is available to you. Unfortunately, it might not load correctly. It's been having a hard time. At least my computer's been having a hard time. So we can select the group here and then select the topic. So what's your favorite dessert? And then move it over. So now you just have to do the topic once. You just have to submit a first response once as well. And then we can click close. And then now we have our response here too. All right, we have our response here too as well. So all of that comes through. Now, if we take a look at the rest of the discussion here, our attachments, because this is an example attachment, notice that it just pops up as another tab. So it does open up. Let's say you're using a SharePoint link into your Teams, right? And let's say that's you're putting it through in your class materials. Then the attachment can then just open up separately for your students as well, right? For your different students as well. Now, the last little bit of this, once you're going through, right? Once you're going through, when you're done with a topic, it is up to you to think that, oh, actually, can animals tell the future? Or what's your favorite dessert, right? We can say that this is view only. And from here, if I actually try to open up, this topic again, join the guest password, this topic is view only. Notice that we cannot add another response anymore. So you can use this for things like review sessions. You can use this for things like homework, so that they cannot, let's say your requirements are, well, you have 3 days to submit a video to this one. That's really it, right? 3 days to submit a hello, I am response, so that with the next class that you come into, you'll be able to discuss it. And when it's done, you can just move it over to view only so that people can still see that the responses are there, but they just couldn't add more if they choose to. All right. Now, to actually populate it at the start, let's just go back to Discovery. And I'll show you how to filter through a lot of these different topics. So if we go to Discovery and you think that, okay, I do need to make my space lessons group. It's all about space lessons. It's a class that's very on the nose. It's about space. But in our Discovery here, we can find a search topics button, and I can type space. And when I type space, it gives me all of the different, right? We found 1,011 topics for you. Found 1,011 topics for you. However, not all of this will be relevant to us. So one, you can filter it by subject. And what I can do is, of course, I'm going to put in science because it's space. Immediately narrows it down to 158 instead of 1,011. You can search it in what community. So it's really up to you. Like, these are the different communities that are part of FlipGrid's default algorithm. This is what pops up. There is an other community as well if it doesn't fall into any of these. But we're just going to put it in middle school. And then 34 topics. And then you'll be able to go through and you'll actually see on the right side how many times has it been used. 79, it's been used 79 times. There's this one 11 times, and the engagement on it is 2 days and 15 hours. So I would actually want to see this. Would you rather? All right. Oh, perfect. So if this is the kind of engagement that this is part of, then we can just actually take a look at this and then add this as a topic inside of our own, right? But that's not about space. So what we can take a look at is, say, perfect. Sound in space. And we can add this as a topic, just put it into your groups, put it in space lessons and save to group. Go to my topics, and then it's here. And then you can have, while you're waiting, right? You can keep it hidden for now. So that those people who will be, when you add, when you add students to your group, they actually don't see this yet. Right? They don't actually see this yet if it's hidden. And then when the time comes, when the lesson comes through that you're talking about sound and space, then you can say, I'm going to activate it. And then it pops up on their feed. Right? It then pops up on their feed. So it's really up to you how you want to kind of go through it. But again, it's super useful. I love it so much. And I'm not able to show you this one, unfortunately, just because we don't have one that has a mobile area here. But if you go to flipgrid.com, right, on your phone, you can also just use that to take a video as well. If your students don't want to be in front of their computer forever, there is a FlipGrid app on the App Store for Apple and on the Play Store for Google and for Android. There's a FlipGrid, and then you can actually just join in. You can use the QR code, right? When we shared a group, you can also use the QR code. Shared the topic. You can use that, and they can submit through using your using their phone if they so choose. Now, that takes us really to the end of our demonstration. There's a lot. Again, like it's not a lot, but it is a lot of possibilities that you can do. All right, it is a lot of possibilities that you can do for this one. Okay. Now, if you ever think that, well, Miguel, I don't know what else to I don't know what to do, or I'm having a hard time. Is there any sort of reference material for this? You can go to the top right of your screen, and there is your question mark, which is the help section. And from here, I can then say that I can just type groups. And from here, this would be here as well, right? All of that is here. So this allows you to get started with FlipGrid as well. Another resource that I'll show you for those who have used FlipGrid and want to see, a bit more, a few more things, more than what we've seen today, because it was still a lot of information. I do want to show you give me a second. Perfect. Should be good for this one. If you go to education.microsoft.com, right? If you go to education.microsoft.com, what you will find, right? What you will find is really trainings and courses and lesson plans. And I can actually click the training and go to courses. And what we did today really is the engage and amplify with FlipGrid. And from here, you can actually go through this course, and I've already completed it, it's all good. But you can just run through it and you'll get a badge for your profile. For today, I'm going to send in something in the chat, right? And this is for those who are here in the live session. Because you joined us today, if you go to your profile, right, on education.microsoft.com, and I'm going to ask Tim to just link that website into the chat. If you sign in with your credentials, you can go to your profile, and then you can see a view transcript right here. And from here, you'll see the different kinds of training that you've done specifically. So there is a beyond the basics with FlipGrid that you can do as well inside of this one, but we did the engage and amplify with FlipGrid. And then what we have is this code that you can use. I'm just going to put that through. You can use this achievement code inside of our inside of this. If you go to, just going to, perfect. If you go to your profile on the top right, redeem your achievement code, and then just put it through. Just going to remove this really big space at the start. Redeem it. And then it's custom training that should be for FlipGrid. So if I go to my profile, view transcripts, there should be one for FlipGrid for apparently an hour and a half, because that's just really the timing for it. But at least you'll have this transcript saying that, hey, I've done all of these different things, and it's all attached to your profile account. The other course for FlipGrid is, aside from Engage and Amplify, there is a Beyond the Basics with FlipGrid, which is this one. And then just discovering the library, but really we've talked about the discovery library as well. But you can just go through this one, and then you can take the course, and then you'll see all of what you can do with it as well. However, this one is a bit older. They haven't updated this one yet, so it is a bit older. It might not look the same as the one that we saw today. So just a heads up. But you can go through all of these, and then you get a fancy badge as well. Other than that, thank you so much, everybody. I think Tim also put in a survey for myself. I think we also put in a survey for myself. This one is about me as a presenter. It's not about FlipGrid. It's not about Microsoft. It's really just about me as a presenter. A passing score is 9, but any feedback that you have is really appreciated, because I actually go through all of our survey forms at the end of every one of my sessions. So I know what I did and how I did and how we can help you better for next time. So thank you so much, everybody. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? And it's okay too, right? It's okay too if you think like, well, that was a lot, or I feel not as much. That's okay. That's fine too, right? No worries. Thank you so much, Wendy. For those of you who are going to try FlipGrid, I would really, really suggest FlipGrid. Usually at Microsoft, whenever we market FlipGrid outside of the company, we bring teachers in and stuff like that. But because I am your speaker for today, we couldn't bring a teacher to talk about their experiences with FlipGrid. But they do have a lot of fun with it. It makes the learning fun for the students, and that's really kind of the biggest piece, right? That can add on to your virtual class, not even just your virtual classroom, even your physical classroom. Yes, honestly, thank you so much. Thank you. Perfect. Yes, please try it, right? It's super simple. What I usually suggest to everyone, just make a FlipGrid with just a bunch of teachers that you know, and then just try it out. Because if it breaks, then it doesn't matter. And then you can try it out again with your class itself. If it breaks, it means that you're doing something amazing. Honestly, that's what I think. Right? So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to let everyone go. For those watching the recording, thank you as well. And I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their Monday. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for what you do. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you so much, Miguel, on behalf of Anglophone West School District and LearnEast. It was fantastic.
Thank you so much.